Good morning and welcome. Head back to the Naenae Bowling Club for the semi-finals now of the National Interclub Bowls3Five here. Been played here over the last 3 days of the semi-final stage. Just quickly the quarter-final results this morning. We saw the Stokes Valley Vipers beat Stoke Thunder in a tie-break. The Elmwood Park Saints defeat the Manuera Kites. The Gore Rams defeat the Auckland Originals, and the Takaro Tui defeat the Nelson Spirit in also a tie-break. So the semi-finals that we're going to be covering, the feature match we'll be covering, the John Macbeth and myself, is the Stokes Valley Vipers. That's the Seamus Curtin side up against the Elmwood Park Saints with Lance Pascoe skipping that side. And the other semi-final will be between Gore Rams and Takaro Tui, and we'll be giving you updates of that semi-final throughout the game. So the Stokes Valley Vipers side, we've got Nicole Toomey leading, Finbar McGuigan at 2, Seamus Curtin skipping. And the Elmwood Park side with Mandy Boyd leading, Kelvin Scott and Lance Pascoe. And good morning, back again, John Macbeth for this semi-final.
And there's Steve Sargent, will be the umpire or marker today. Looking at those names or listening to them as you read them out, Kevin, I thought, who's not a national representative or a national title holder here? That's, you know, they've all won it, haven't they?
This is a very, very classy 6 players, yeah. And I'm sure that we're going to have a magnificent semi-final, and you'd have seen some of these playing in the coverage you were doing yesterday, and I as well, and yeah, they're 2 very, very good sides.
National singles title holder there.
Certainly is.
Down the other end on the far right, national women's single winner a season ago, Nicole Toomey. We've got the pairs national champions here, Finbar McGuigan and Seamus Curtin.
Lance Pascoe on the 4s.
Yeah, Lance Pascoe on the 4s. And Mandy Boyd. New
everything.
Zealand, yeah, everything. Won several titles, Commonwealth Games, World Championship representative. Now, we did see in that last game between the Takaro Tui and the Nelson Saints some fairly scratchy sort of heads, and the quality of player involved in those two teams indicates that they were having a bit of a struggle. So it'll be interesting to see whether here these players get onto a line and length early.
Well, I agree, John. Certainly, one would think, with no disrespect to anyone that played in the quarterfinals, but we would think the class of these 2 teams is we're going to see Kelvin Scott now. He is going to draw the shot right alongside the jack with his second bowl on the first end, and that's what we sort of would be expecting or hoping for.
Yep. And we've got 2 skips who are aggressive in their play when need be. I think this here is a superb example of the sport of bowls and who plays it. We've got people in their 20s and 30s, and I'll say to Kelvin, maybe early 60s.
Of mature years.
Yeah. So that's and I said yesterday to Anne Wright, the president, interestingly, when promoting bowls, I've often said, here we've got the women's pair this year were a 53-year-old and an 80-year-old.
Correct.
The singles winner, Tanya Bruce, I think was 26 or something like that. So then you get the men's pairs, both in their early 20s. You get Kelvin Scott stepping up, winning so a big range of ages.
Absolutely.
So anyone, when they take up bowls, can challenge anyone and play against them in a national championship, and you can play bowls until basically they're sticking the last nail down, aren't they?
Correct.
That's it. So it's a fantastic sport, and a lot of people look at the likes of Seamus Curtin, who's on the mat now, and he said when he was at college, people said, "Well, why are you playing bowls?" And he'd just say to them, "Come and have a go, and you'll soon learn why." And that's what it is. It's getting players of his age. He and Finbar both played in their college years, and they have represented New Zealand. So,
the other thing, John, talking about the overall with the sport. Also, I think it's fair to say, and that's an initiative of Bowls New Zealand, the introduction of Bowls3Five onto the bowls agenda has certainly created a different sort of, well, it's a different style of bowls and like business house, all sorts of things. And so this format has been a moving away from tradition, so to speak, but has certainly seen a bigger audience participating at whatever level it may well be.
Yep, agreed.
And of course, yesterday, we saw the great thing about this event, like Dobson from the West Coast, which we spoke earlier, 12 members, and they're only one shot away from being there in the quarterfinals this morning. So this style of play and this having a nationwide club event just really does create, I think, a great atmosphere for what the sport offers.
That Homai team, I commentated on them on the first day, and I'd asked their secretary, who was Tia Moka, who was lead, and I said, how many members have you got? She said, I'm the secretary, I've been there for 9 years. No, I don't know. And I just grinned. I said, you don't know? And afterwards she said, we've got 24 playing members. So 24 playing members, a team of 3 got up and won their district competition and end up here. So small clubs, big clubs like Elmwood Park Saints, for example, and Stokes Valley Vipers, who, attract players in. It's a great social club and very highly competitive, winning lots of national titles. One of the sort of name clubs of the country these days, I think, Stokes Valley.
Or it's certainly, like all of the major events now, you've always got a Stokes Valley quartet or players down near the latter stages of the event. The Stokes Valley name is normally there, isn't it?
Mandy Boyd just getting some chalk on or spray on her bowl. She just moved the jack slightly. Nicole Toomey, national singles title holder a couple of seasons ago, and always gives this team of hers a good start.
Of course, the defeated Mandy Boyd to win her national singles title in Auckland a couple of years back, scoring a 4 on the last end to defeat, it was the last end in the race to 21. So that was defeated Mandy Boyd, giving her national title, and she's certainly a player that we are going to see, I feel, and we're in the Silver Fern. Don't know when or if, whatever, but not if. I'm sure she'll be playing for New Zealand for sure. One of the definite players of the future.
Well, I'm interested to see how they handle this side.
You're right, John. I'm just looking very quickly here straight away. Finbar McGuigan had definitely a different line from what we had seen in the earlier match, wasn't it? And he draws right to, well, Jack's been moved, certainly, but that line that he took then was certainly a different line to what we saw in the Takaro Nelson game on that particular hand, wasn't it?
They're playing to the centre spot, aren't they? The Jack's been moved slightly. Kelvin Scott playing 2 for Elmwood. He's on the move already.
He's close to the jack here. He's close to the shot here as the New Zealand singles title holder. And Julie draws right alongside the jack to touch her.
Vipers with the white discs.
So I imagine, John, that all of these 3 players here in the Stokes Valley side would have all been part of the secondary school environment in Wellington at the same time, wouldn't they? They've all been together.
Yep. And I think that they've all moved from different clubs. I think they, recollection is the Plymouton club was involved at some stage where maybe Seamus Curtin grew up, or Finbar. I just can't quite recall that now, but and players do move around. If you're seeking better competition, sometimes you say, and work takes people out as well.
Absolutely.
But
the competitive players, you do see them move to where it's they're competitive likers or ilkers, or where there's players that they can play with.
But you start at a club and there's always a coach there who takes the new players and says, this is enjoyable. It's an enjoyable sport, but we'll just give you a few tips, and that is, how to place the mat and how to get a good smooth delivery, get into a routine, all those sorts of things about how to find your line and develop your length.
And the nice thing is, John, is that coaching's available in every club, isn't it? At various levels, but it's there at every club.
And coaches accept that if you're at a small club, then possibly you're going to, if you're any good and ambitious, you might just decide to slope off somewhere else. But not many players forget their grounding. As I see Curtin, I really enjoy watching Seamus Curtin play. His delivery is a joy to behold. His attitude is absolutely fantastic. And his ability to read the head, and we'll talk a bit more about this, I think, watching the sort of shots that they're playing with the Elmwood Park Saints holding shot at the moment.
Both of these players, John, have been very, very prominent and somewhat dominant in a number of the national events over the last, few years. And, of course, this year, Seamus Curtin winning the national peers, of course, with Andrew Kelly, and two very, very good shot players. And as you rightly said, two very good people as well. Both of them. As we watch this bowl of Pascoe's Kelvin Scott's taking a lot of interest in this. Gets a touch on the jack.
No damage. I think he's grinning, saying, could have done some damage.
I suppose what it does do, although Steve Sargent clearly indicated the one, it does give them another bowl on the head for the Elmwood Saints side.
Seeking the shot, is he? No, now, so this is, I think this is an interesting shot, and where this has ended up for the skip of Stokes Valley Vipers, Seamus Curtin. How many times did we see that sort of weighted shot go narrow in the last game? A number of times, even from the likes of Val Smith.
I was just going to make the point, John, it highlights to me is that your choice of weight in playing these shots is pretty important. And to me, you either don't attack it or you go at it literally full bore, where you take the error or the movement judgment away quite a bit, because we do see a lot of swing of the bowlers. We see this 2-0 now after 2 ends, and you're quite right, we saw it a number of times in that last Val Smith, not so much as Mark Noble, who of course, we talked about the great bowls that he played, but he did have Mark Noble plays with what I would call a kind of drawing bowl, so to speak, because we saw a lot of his bowls come back a lot further than what some of the others certainly did. But the weight thing, I agree entirely with you. It looks easy standing on the mat, doesn't it? I'm going to run up there and they're going to dislodge that bowl out of the head. That's going to be all quite easy, but it's not.
Toomey's shot is sitting there nicely, jack level. Boyd quickly onto that line that's required there. That's nice. She's touched it and settles nicely.
Interesting talking to Mandy Boyd yesterday after the game, and her delivery suits the surface ideally, because if you notice her arm, she doesn't get out with a wide arm at her point of delivery. Everything's a very, very straight line off her body, and you'll notice that bowl that she played. Some people may have thought it looks narrow, but it's just the way how that, be a bit like Michael Galloway, they just got a different sort of finish of their bowl, different delivery at the finish.
Toomey wasn't far off it.
Only a bowl away, wasn't she? This is a guy that he's certainly, if you talk about a player of consistency over the years, Kelvin Scott, he's always there when the numbers are in small single numbers, whether he's always hanging, always close. He's got a very, very good ratio of close finishes in so many events.
McGuigan, head down, follow through, always ends up about 3 or 4 paces out from the mat.
The great bowl, superb bowl, dead draw weight, sits on the Mandy Boyd bowl.
That might be 2 there, close to 2.
The marker just indicating the weight, the single. Because Finbar McGuigan's another one who's got, you're talking about the same as Curtin's delivery, and rightly so. Finbar McGuigan has also got that very nice arm.
You can see it right now,
Doesn't move around, does it?
No.
Going to the back is the call from...
Yep, changing hands.
So obviously Lance Pascoe is going to be looking for that jack movement down through on the to where the Mandy Boyd bowlers on that backhand. And McGuigan here just got to get past the front, not going to quite do so. Wizzy gets a feather, the bowl away, and that's well played. Another bowl on the head for the Stokes Valley side.
Key bowls are those two at the back, the black and the white one, aren't they? They're both Saints bowls. So
Kelvin Scott, well, they are, but of course,
got to get the jack there.
well, Lance Pascoe's got to be careful with the weight that he plays. He doesn't want to dislodge the Mandy Boyd bowl out of the head, because there's Nicole Toomey's bowls there, and the two bowls from Finbar McGuigan are all in that patch, that metre, so to speak. So he won't be going at a great rate of knots. So we're just trying to get down on draw weight on the backhand to get to the shot. Bowl, get to the shot, bowl, or the jack. There it is, John, just as you said it.
Key balls. Well, that's absolutely perfect.
Just that love, that just perfect. Just a couple of feet of just over draw weight. Just got onto the jack, caressed it past the head, and in fact would be 4.
It's often one of the more difficult shots, isn't it? Wanting the jack to move back 2 metres, but you don't have to add 2 metres of weight on it.
Correct. That was certainly a classy shot, wasn't it?
So Curtin's got a nice track through there that he can view. He just has to avoid those shorter bowls now.
I imagine his first objective, I would say, that he'd be thinking of, well, I want to cut the damage down with the first bowl.
Draw through that.
And then see what happens. If I get the shot, that's a bonus, but I certainly want to get down there and reduce the damage, really. Ooh, is it tight?
He hasn't got through that short rubbish. It looks like rubbish. Look. Oh, well,
look at that straightening up. Look at that straightening up.
I'm going to look at his face and see whether...
I'd like to see a replay of that, because...
Well, he knew... they've seen it before.
Yeah, they have.
That was heading into those short bowls, without doubt.
It was certainly sitting in amongst the patch of bowls there, wasn't it? And then it just sort of got a bit of a shake on it, and there it finished up in a very good position. So straight away, a great bowl from Seamus Curtin, and reducing the number. And here's that replay, John, that we just spoke about, of this bowl of...
It was just a bit before
that,
wasn't it? But it ended up in a great spot. Still, there's 3 shots to the Vipers.
Pascoe.
To the Saints.
Pascoe changed his hand rightly. Didn't want to open the door up for... or touch anything on the way down through there, but he's played the good bowl with his first bowl, really, hasn't he? Pascoe played that screaming shot, magnificent shot with his first.
Right, let's watch this down that centre. See what happens this time.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a word.
He knows the line now.
Yeah.
So he probably thought, I'm narrow, I have to adjust my line, but where it ended up, he didn't.
Well,
here it goes now. See what happens here.
See what happens. Move now.
There it goes.
There it goes. There it goes.
He did it again. He did it again and almost got the shot. Well, just the one. I think they're finger measuring at the moment.
Finbar McGuigan indicating just the one. Kelvin Scott confirming that. Well, really, John, that also highlights some of the ability that Seamus Curtin brings. He knew that line.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great example of, a thinking bowler, not perturbed.
Well, you and I both thought it was...
It should have, both times, if it had followed its natural course, it would have gone into those bowls.
Absolutely.
Short bowls.
Yes, it would
But it was heading there and then did that nice little left-hand turn and straightened up.
So 3-0 after 3 ends of the first set of the semi-final, that between the Stokes Valley Viper and Elmwood Park. And now the semi-final being played outside here, and we'll get an update on that shortly, is the Gore Rams up against Takaro Tui.
For all those players now, they recognise that if the jack does end up back on the longest spot, the maximum length one, that there is that movement to contend with. That's a very good opener from Nicole Toomey. Nice weight.
So Mandy Boyd, oh, there's that flick. It doesn't like that one. She really, the body language sort of tells us a wee bit there, not the point of delivery.
I think she's ended up over past the jack though. So
I just looked past the monitors, yes, and it's over their head there. You can see it there. Now you can see it. But that also, like Mandy Boyd then, just these top players know now she's a metre and a bit away. She knew she let it go. And Mandy Boyd knew when she released the bolt that that's not where, it's not going to finish up where I want it. So here's an update from the Gore Rams versus Takaro Tui. 3 ends gone in the first set. And it is the Gore Rams who just scored a 4 on the third end of the first set. And they lead the Takaro Tuis by 4 shots to 3 after 3 of the 5 ends of the first set in the other semi-final.
So Toomey's 2 red bowls are giving the Vipers an advantage at the moment, but that's
Kelvin
negated by
Scott.
Kelvin Scott. He might be the key player in this match, eh? His
well
consistency
and the good thing there, John, for Kelvin Scott, front toucher, and the bowl fell over, didn't sit up where it could sort of attack it. It sits right in front. But Finbar McGuigan, he's equal to he can play all the shots, this young fella. Look at Kelvin Scott's delivery, John. You're never quite sure what hand he's actually playing.
Absolutely right. I mean, to me, he was facing out this way. He was going to play the forehand, but he's ripped into the backhand.
Just because that awkward, well, not awkward, but he's done it for a long, long time. He's been, look at this, and he's be more than happy with that. More than happy.
It's the fourth end. Remember, each of these teams has a power play, which will double whatever score they have.
Trying to play down under the head to the shot bowled is Finbar McGuigan. Just needs to break it. Or get the jack, gets the jack, and there it lodges on, and Nicole Toomey bowl goes right deep on the ring. Well played by the well-weighted shot there. And that would leave a couple of shots, one would think, to the... It is 2. We just see Steve Sargent indicate with the lollipops, definitely 2 to the changeover to the Stokes Valley Vipers. Well-controlled shot then, John.
Yeah, and I just listening to what the guys are saying there, you sometimes pick up some nice little snippets of information. And what we talked about was, an ability to read the head. So that's, they knew that ball was there, McGuigan did, and Curtin had said, if you can get that, that's good, or dislodge the shot, that's fine.
Yeah, it was a good percentage shot, wasn't it? And controlled weight to get the good result.
Pretty well pointed, Pascoe.
Oh, you heard Kelvin Scott then. He's pretty confident. Likes this one.
Hold.
Likes this. Likes this. Likes this.
What a shot, Pascoe.
What a shot, Pascoe. Whose brother was in that Dobson team, which created a lot of talk around here when they were leading the competition after the first day, and only just missed out on a place in the quarterfinals.
One thing that sort of highlights to me, John, as well, that of the last, and you would have seen Lance Pascoe as well playing for a number of years, the last couple of years, the maturity in his play and his shot making and confidence that he plays, playing with Mike Curtin for a couple of years in the Nationals, I just think it gave him just that, that wee bit more confidence.
Yeah, and on that, I'm really pleased that Mike Kernaghan's got a coaching role within the New Zealand scene.
Can't get better than him.
No.
He's the best.
The only shot he's got is to play down there. I mean, you still need to get tough. Draw another one.
I just wonder whether Curtin there wasn't far off the line he wanted, that he was looking to get a deflection off something to bring him over.
You'd have heard Kelvin Scott say then that that Seamus Curtin's got a one-shot option, but let's get another bowl in on the if we can get a counter as well in behind. So whether Lance Pascoe can follow what he played with his first bowl. Well, there goes the old ringing of the hands. He's out a wee bit wide up.
Down the hole.
Kelvin Scott's like it saying down the
Pascoe.
hill.
Run. You're in, mate. You're in. Great shot, Pascoe.
And that gives you, the player down the other end wondering whether he'd gone a bit wide, what his weight was like, and you get the two yelling out, you're on, you're on. Yeah. And great shot. Yeah, don't you feel good on the other end?
Well, the recovery after that wonderful bowl from Finbar McGuigan, but then the recovery that Lance Pascoe brought, outstanding.
So, playing his backhand, trying to get onto maybe that red bowl even and knock that up a bit to cut it out of two, or draw the shot dead. Might even be a better option. That's not a bad bowl from Curtin, eh?
Great
cuts one out.
Great attempt. Four singles.
Now, I think, didn't the Vipers take the first set 10-0 against Stokes Thunder?
Correct.
Yeah. And here they are, 4-0 down, haven't scored, and we're playing the fifth and final end of this first set.
But really the good thing about it, John, is that they're all singles.
Yeah. But
the heads have been, and the movement of the bowls around the jacks been moved, and we saw then like that bowler Lance Pascoe's and one of Finbar McGuigan's. That's really top class, isn't it?
Yeah. So this for a place in the final.
What's interesting here, though, with the Elmwood Park side, as I say, like talking to Mandy Boyd last night, they were very intent on playing the further deepest circle, but I see they're playing the second circle, but yesterday they played on this rink. So they play where they feel confident, and 4-0 up, so they're feeling pretty good. The applause you may just hear behind us here, I happen to know from what I heard the voice, that was a Mark Noble shot.
So that other semi-final is on out of our sight. It's over the wall there to the left-hand side. There's another half a dozen rinks operating over there, but just one game in action. It's good to see a number of people in here watching this today too. They've got some really interested bowlers. That's a nice bowl.
That's good.
Mandy Boyd right on target. A lot of the teams, of course, have travelled in from out of town, obviously, from way up north on the far north down to that Gore Rams team, of course, down the south and both coasts. All the clubs, all the centres represented, and some of them have stayed on to watch.
That's good.
Fitting in with their travel arrangements. So Toomey a couple, just a metre or so over. Now here we go, man who's been playing so well so far.
And you're right in what you said in that previous end, John, although that got changed around. It's been Kelvin Scott in the middle of the pack who's played so many like deciding bowls or really head-changing bowls and drawing the shot and just showing all of that experience that Kelvin Scott has got. That's nothing at all against Finbar McGuigan, but Kelvin Scott, bit of an unsung sort of... He's been a top player for a long, long time.
Perfect.
Absolutely, isn't it? That's exactly where you want it.
Chance down there, mate. To the jack.
And again, John, as we spoke about earlier on, if you look now at that circle, all the bowls are literally sitting inside the circle, so it shows the draw is pretty consistent.
Ooh, look at this thing. Just hold there, no straightener there, but isn't needed. No, not needed.
Well played, Finbar McGuigan there, resting the shot bowl out and sitting there for the shot.
How far over is the shot bowl? No.
Of course, the Stokes Valley Thunder, they need a big number, of course, on this, the last end of the first set. And it's most likely, if you think about it, John, they realise that the chances of that really happening are quite low, aren't they, really?
Yeah, although, you know, with these guys, they back themselves.
Oh, they do, certainly. If there's an opportunity to move the jack around or play a bowl, they'll certainly do that. Absolutely, they will. McGuigan can draw another one here. Same as Curtin's got 2 bowls. So, you know, you're absolutely right. That can easily... The ability is there for sure. As we're watching with this bowler, McGuigan's.
He knew it was short.
He knew it was short. He heard the...
Yeah. But that's... I don't know, it could be a couple of shots there. No, just one.
Just the one. A one and a measure is Steve's called. Steve Sargent's called there.
Just go to the tee, just play. Or do you want to try and draw? I'm happy either way. Draw. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah. And it's important in a game like that where you just skips undecided a wee bit and then you get someone like Kelvin Scott say, no, that's the decision, draw it.
Draw it.
So he walks back to the mat with no doubt in his mind.
Confident.
What shot he's going to play.
Draw it.
Yep, just draw it.
Close for the second one.
So close was the call on that second shot.
Is it wide or not? No.
How's he going? Is that straightener come into
Well,
play
on your
here
way,
or not?
Pascoe.
It's a bit past that.
Well done, Pascoe.
It's like he's talking to his dog, isn't it? High fives.
It's
What is that? Yeah. I didn't look at my bowl. My bowl's definitely beats my front way. Yours? And catch 22, really, isn't it? It's one of them.
some good chat going on down there, John, isn't there, with the which you'll be able to pick up between the various players. Looking for the jack.
So his line gets a straightener about here. There it goes. So what's he got? He's got 3 at the back now, the Stokes Valley Vipers. But getting the jack back there is not going to be easy.
Well, looking at the body language and
Back one.
back one,
Yep.
Yeah.
Just yes, it's there, as you rightly said, John, because there's a few bowls that are back there.
Would that be 3 on the 2 metre mark they've got? Would they be closest to the 2
1, 2,
metre
3.
if,
Well,
if this gets killed?
I just heard Kelvin Scott's just say he can't get 4.
Okay.
But the indication from Lance Pascoe was that just to make sure,
Oh, just get to the tee.
yeah, just get there. So there you heard it. Just get to the tee.
Yeah, yeah.
Shot, let's go.
Yeah, so there we go. So that negates any advantage that... I mean, if in fact the end was killed, I think prior to that bowl, Stokes Valley had 3.
Yeah, it's
Playing like I'm getting into your one, eh? Playing like I'm getting into your one. Your short one.
so you've heard there. Same as Curtin making his way back. He wants to try and play through with weight to the bowl of Finbar McGuigan and move that onto the jack and back.
Back to this. Back to those 3 there. Gosh, it's a...
Big shot. But yeah.
Last bowl.
He's
To move the
trying
jack.
something for sure.
Yeah. If he gets the jack, he's in with a chance. He's got the jack, and he's taken it back, and he's got... Whoa, 3.
3 it was.
Kelvin Scott said they can't get 4. I think he might have had his heart in his mouth then. That was a really good try.
It certainly was, and what a magnificent weight control bowl though from young Seamus Curtin. And between Finbar, McGuigan and Curtin, you heard them through the microphone saying where they had to go, what they needed to make contact with. And Seamus Curtin duly delivered and turned a very, very difficult position into a scoring position of 3.
Well, nothing's beyond these guys, as we mentioned earlier. They backed themselves, and it was a clear call, and they said, here's our big chance. Move the jack back. We've got 3 here. You can only move it a metre or a metre and a half. Otherwise, you take it back to the bowl on the 2 metre. He played the weight absolutely perfectly. He took the jack cleanly.
Well, there was no luck in it, was it? No luck.
Give themselves a chance.
Played exactly what they discussed that could be played. Played it perfectly.
Imagine if they'd used their power play.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, isn't it? So here's the first set of the Gore Rams versus Takaro Tui. And I take it that the power play was taken on the 5th end, just so we just spoke about. Because going into the last end of the first set, it was the Gore Rams leading 5-3 over the Takaro Tui. Takaro Tui took the power play on the last end, scored a 2, and ran out the winners by 7 shots to 5 in the first set. So,
yep. So we could be looking at a 6-4 result here on that first end.
So they're just that just confirms it for another semi-final, doesn't it?
Yep. So as we talked in the previous match about when it gets to these crunch games, we've seen it quite often that the power play is played by the trailing team on the last end of the first set.
Yeah, well, that was a good call from Mark Noble and Sharon Sims and Steve Toms, isn't it, to decide to play that power play then. Sure, they can't use it again, but they've got the set in the bag.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt that these two teams know they're in for a fight. While Elmwood Park Saints have won this first set, they know just how much quality is in their opposition team. They've played them many times over the years. They know exactly what they're capable of.
Well, it's nil all, John, isn't it?
Yep.
Really, that's... Both sides are more than capable of, as we saw with that Seamus Curtin bowl. And
good over the back.
Kelvin Scott has been sort of the glue, hasn't he, during that first set and playing some very good.
Don't know whether I'm there yet.
Don't know whether he's there. You would have heard him say there in the microphone, and he knows, and he's right.
Not just he's the glue in more ways than one. Not just with his ability to bowl. It's the way he's in with Lance Pascoe, working, supporting Lance Pascoe, reaffirming what decisions they're making, just, being confident and direct.
That encouragement that we kept hearing, it's got to be good, doesn't it? You're playing well, but you're getting that urging on from your teammate. It makes a big difference.
Yep, a lot of players need a bit of confidence
bit
boosting.
of love.
A little stroking.
You've got to go fishing for it and try and keep your bowl. If we miss, at least we've got one over the top. Just wherever you want. Yep.
So they're in sync, aren't they? You heard them then. You'd play, you do this, do that. So it's the team's in sync, aren't they? That when you can hear that conversation which the two and the skip are having.
And we saw it previously with Sharon Sims and Mark Noble.
Absolutely.
Just no, that's a shot to play. Go for it. Just send them back to the mat with confidence. So Pascoe now, we'll expect him to be slightly over. That's what he was talking about. Viper's holding 1.
Stay up.
It's travelling now.
Oh, very quick. It went past here quick. It's going to stay up. Yes, it just rolls over.
Mate.
And behind right underneath the number 1 there, you'll see.
played this hand quite nicely. So a nice little track here for him. His weight's good. He'll draw a second shot. He's going to be short.
I think you only want, you know, probably not quite as quick. You're going to get him, so you're landing around here.
So really instructing to Lance Pascoe, really giving yourself a yard of weight just past the draw to make sure, one, you reach there, and if you make contact with the bowl, you're going to get a good result.
Get in there.
Ooh, look at this finishing.
Didn't let go.
So chance here, of course, the same as Curtin to open with a 2 on this, the
Well,
first
more
end.
than that, Kevin. You have a look at the situation of those couple of bowls just over the jack, a couple of metres past. If he moves the jack, always narrow.
He's under the line, isn't he?
Yeah, I was just saying,
Come down,
look,
mate.
he was really looking to draw a shot, obviously, but you can see there those two blue bowls of Finbar McGuigan's back there, ready for any movement of the jack. So Stokes Valley Vipers pick up a single in the first end of the second set.
And just remembering, if the Stokes Valley Vipers win this 5-end second set, then we go to the tie-break, a 1-end playoff. And please, you can follow this live, tell your friends, whoever, neighbours, to subscribe to the Bowls New Zealand YouTube for notifications, and you can follow this. You can follow all of the action, and also, of course, on Sky Sport Next and www.stuff.co.nz, and all the live action is there on those platforms as well. Two good bowls here from both leads.
Shot.
You see that concentration on the Nicole Toomey and the mat, and you can just see that's good to see, that real concentration. You can see that she's focusing on where her breaking point is, where she's trying to get the bowl. Good to see. As does Mandy Boyd concentrate and focus on. Is the hand ringing?
Well, I mean, good, mate. Keep it in.
It's great as a club bowler watching this and the way the skips operate. There's no, you're 2 metres short.
No,
yeah, you're a metre over.
Nothing, is it?
Your green, just your green. Narrow it up a wee, all that sort of stuff which a bowler on the mat knows about. But they just know that the bowler on the mat can judge what they've done, and if they ask, they'll say, "Yeah, you're half a metre over." Or
it's a compliment to the ones, the ability, isn't it, and their game management really of these players. And
Yep. Yep.
draw a toucher was the call then. And quite capable of it too.
That was a great line.
Yeah,
Perfect line.
It was.
You don't want to get caught up on that, mate. Draw down there.
Yeah, well, there's
All
the
good.
difficulty that creates, doesn't it? That short bowl, as you heard Seamus Curtin very quickly saying there to Finbar McGuigan, is
No,
that
you
you don't want
land
to
it.
get
Yeah, you play
don't
this.
want to get tied up on it. Reaching the bowl or turning the bowl through with the jack's all a good result for Stokes Valley, isn't it? And that's exactly what he's going to do. Is he going to get the jack? He moves the jack. A touch up, which stays up.
Sorry. Okay.
Saints holding shot there. That's one of Mandy Boyd's, her first. It might stay there throughout. got looking to add to it.
And it's Pascoe taking a lot of interest in it as it breaks down towards the jack, and it moved it back towards that Nicole Toomey ball, which I think will be shot. And our marker, it is indicated by Steve Sargent that it has moved it as Stokes Valley. The shot.
Just occasionally in a game there's a break that goes your way. And that was one. It happened. He was just slightly overweighted. If that was his intention to get up and draw a second shot, which I think it was.
Well, he certainly wanted another bowl on the head. That was for sure. He indicated that. But it was Lance Pascoe, 2 bowls to try and recover that position.
No feather. Perfect draw, is it? No. No, fell out.
Fell out. So, yeah, Steve Sargent just confirming that. Just the one shot. Just
Played that hand not bad.
so.
We only have to go down, don't we?
So, indicating to Kelvin Scott from Lance Pascoe to play the other hand. If he turns the Kelvin Scott bowl over, of course that may well get enough turn on it to make shot or draw around it.
Go, Lucky.
Oh, he's got the bowl out on a good lot. Just going to go by, but had to wait to turn that bowl through.
Well, got the tee.
So now Curtin to try and make it. Did he say we've got the 2?
We've got the T. Got the T.
T, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
So-
it for Lance Pascoe?
So he could push this up for 3, couldn't he? If he gets.
Oh, he's got a bit
that-
more weight on this. He'll get to that front bowl. He turns it over. He gets a slide off it, which he's going to do. Certainly make 2 of it.
2.
Now, I just wonder now whether Lance
Then you've got to
Pascoe.
bowl him down, don't
Yeah.
you? He's jack high. Yep.
Pascoe follow that line down now. The same as Curtin bowl to try and play on the backhand of the jack.
Now does he under? Yeah, he's got that same line. He's got that
Close.
same line. He's got
close.
the jack and
He's
the shot.
close.
Oh. So there's Finbar McGuigan's
Finbar
bowl at the
McGuigan
back.
out there.
Still 2, says Steve Sargent. He holds 2 lollipops up, so didn't change it, but it was a lovely weighted bowl. Didn't quite work out for them. 2 shots, 2 Stokes Valley Vipers. So this is a complete opposite to the first set.
Power play been called by the Elmwood Park Saints. Lance Pascoe just indicated, Steve Sargent confirming that.
Centre spot again. Having won that last end, it's the Vipers from Stokes Valley who have the first bowl. They also determine the length of the end. Nicole Toomey is quite comfortable with that particular length.
Just falling outside the circle on that second ring, as second circle, as John said. And Mandy Boyd on her favoured backhand. Definitely a more challenging hand, John, isn't it? You could even see that bowl then.
Yeah, she's played it all right, though.
She has, yeah. So obviously a spot out there if you just get out that wee bit, you just get that.
Yeah, it's it's a fine line, I think, isn't it? Too?
Yeah.
I mean, when you, as we've commented earlier, you see someone like Sharon Sims just and discussing it afterwards too, saying, I only, holding her fingers up, so my line was about,
Yeah, it was
15 centimetres different, or 3 inches, or whatever it was, and it finished up narrow, so gets into your head a wee bit.
Well, this is definitely brought the line in here as Mandy Boyd with this bowl, and is going to be, I think, duly rewarded here, John.
Yep. Pascoe happy with that. Now we see where Toomey's 2 bowls ended up. It's ideal for McGuigan to play the backhand. Obviously trying to get the shot first, but you see if he does pull the jack back, there's a Toomey bowl sitting there waiting.
2 feet.
2 feet of weight there. You heard Seamus Curtin just certainly on the line to that area to the Mandy Boyd bowl.
Kelvin Scott will have dismissed the fact that on the last end he gave the shot away. I think the answer to your question was no.
Yeah, he knew halfway down that he was lacking a metre of weight.
It's a bit of a pain in the butt though for.
Probably looks quite nice there, mate.
You're right there, John. And now Finbar McGuigan changing his hand because likely to get tangled up possibly on that shorter Kelvin Scott bowl, and McGuigan now electing to play up to the shot bowl.
And he's got his own to promote if, or to work off.
So Kelvin Scott endeavouring to come past his first bowl by a metre or half a metre and put him into the counting area. Of course, it is the Elmwood Park Saints. It is their power play.
Could do some damage here too, couldn't he? He wants to slide off that. It won't bring him in. Oh, he does. Just slides off it. So that's also a usable bowl there for the opposition, but
just the one from.
Who put that there?
Yeah. Kelvin Scott said ran into his own work, didn't he? Really?
Yeah. Curtin looks as though he's going to play that same hand, which he asked McGuigan to, playing the forehand. He's got his own bowl to use if need be, but he's seeking that shot bowl in particular. Finer line than McGuigan used, and he's onto it.
Oh, he's got the bowl here.
Beautiful.
He's got the bowl and the jack.
Yeah. 2 shots there now.
Well, and of course, the power play, nullifying. Well, it hasn't nullified it yet, but it just changes it all around, doesn't it, for the Elmwood Park Saints, with, of course, Stokes Valley Vipers still to use their power play.
See you again now, if you're looking for it. Down through the 2. Yeah. Try it, though. Try and chip them out. Yep. Yeah, but we're going to clean these out anyway if you get out.
So you think he might have a go, hit the blue onto the black, or will he?
Let's see.
They're not well positioned
anywhere.
Anywhere,
I was going to say that was sort of like a preference in Kelvin Scott, but I think Lance Pascoe would much prefer to see with it. Depends what he can see from the mat, of course. I have the impression he'd like to go full steam at the shot bowl, but it's a matter really what he can see. That was well played by Seamus Curtin, 3-0 after 2 to the Stokes Valley Vipers.
Yep, there he goes. Looking to hit that blue or the shot. And he takes a jack and
that's
cut it down by 1 maybe. Oh, no, still 2, would you say?
Yeah, that's the 2 bowls of...
or 3.
Nicole, Toomey, and I suppose Lance Pascoe's viewpoint now as well. I don't care what the number is. I know I've got to draw the shot, isn't it? That's it, you know.
And let's face it, on the last end coming this way, he played that hand beautifully.
He certainly
and drew
did.
the shot.
Certainly
so
did.
He's got the confidence there.
So he won't be worried about what the number is. It's about him trying to score one to get 2.
Anybody's game.
He played this pretty well coming this way last time too.
And he has again. How's the weight? I see that. Just question. No, it's not going to get up. Oh, that's a hard ball now with Lance Pascoe. That's, boy. Oh,
No, I reckon under. Hey? Down to here. Underneath it. Like if you got to there to get the shot, you get to this. You got the shot.
That's a good call, eh?
absolutely.
You know, so often you think I've got to get round that black one to bring it
Yeah.
in to the to the left hand side, but you've got all that room inside. There's a between the jack and the red bowl, close to a metre, you would think.
Because what he was actually saying, John, is that you don't have to draw on the wider side to get. You can get under the. You can get under it to get the
not
get the
round
shot.
the black. You come under.
So you
Because
can
there's all
play out that narrower line.
So Curtin picks up the mat with his eyes fixed on this bowl from Pascoe, which might just get hooked up. No, it doesn't. He's played it well. He's
How's
going to
this?
get a double
Great shot, Pascoe.
How's this?
under pressure.
What a shot.
Well, superbly played by Lance Pascoe, but John, we've got to give some credit to Kelvin Scott as well, don't we, on how he read that head, where he said gave the
Playing yours? Foul play? Yeah. Hey?
I don't think it's 4. They just got a single, didn't they? Or
Yeah.
did they? Yeah. So it should be 3-2, do you think?
well, it's
Yeah, it's up to Mandy. It's got to be Mandy's. But
They only got one on that end, Yeah.
big conversation.
3-2, yeah, it is. Yeah, score's been changed there. So it was a single, Steve Sargent just confirms, but double because they used the power play. So it's 3-2 now to the Vipers.
Interesting here, John, that they had that conversation in the middle of the rink, and you see Mandy Boyd's now gone to the deepest circle to play now that they've got the mat.
She might be in the ditch. It's gone past the jack anyway. It
And
is
it
in
will.
the ditch. We've just seen it splash.
Well done, mate.
I think there's still room here for just not going to get great weight there from Nicole Toomey. That's a very good opening bowl. Change of length. How much is Mandy Boyd corrected from her first? She's chasing this one. This looks pretty good as it comes down towards the circle. Is it going to get all the way? Not quite. Need a couple more rolls.
Got one. Change over here. Close you can.
Yeah, that's it. He's asked her to change her hand, and I'm not sure that she's played this hand at all
I was
today.
just going to say, I don't think Nicole Toomey has played that hand, but I'm sure, player of her experience, she knows she's able to see what the weight looks like. Got it out on a good arc, it's for sure. How far is it going to come back? And if it's over the head, so that's fine. That's in and around the area. First bowl there, as you rightly said, John, that
Kelvin Scott remember he was short with his playing this hand initially, and then he managed to get one in close to the jack. He'd have remembered all that, any vagaries that are out there.
how far is it going to run? That's the big thing, John. How far is this going to run into the circle? It's not going to do so.
There, mate.
So a little seed of doubt in his mind as he goes back.
Yes, because he doesn't want to overcorrect. You know, he can overcorrect and go through, of course, just trying to find that metre literally to the jack from where that bowl's positioned, isn't it? And depends, of course, with this bowler, Finbar McGuigan's, comes what pressure that puts on the...
Not finishing there, is it,
No,
for them?
it's not
Great
good.
green from McGuigan. That might be his... I might have a two.
Just the one from
Just the one.
Steve.
Probably better playing through Mandy all land in the read, aren't I?
Yeah.
So that's going to give him... That change is going to give him the weight. He can play up to the bowl so he knows that he's going to reach the head, isn't he?
I mean, there is the danger of knocking up the other Stokes Viper's bowl, but that's only if he's narrow.
So he's gone by. Now here we've got an update after 3 ends of the second set of the Gore Rams versus Takaro Tui match. Remembering the Takaro side winning the first set 7-5, and they're now leading after 3 ends 6-1 to the Takaro Tui over the Sheldon Bagley Howley Gore Rams side with 2 ends to go in that semi-final.
Rams yet to use their power play.
Yes. So McGuigan sits inside. This is a sticky head now, John, isn't it?
Well, both sides have got those short bowls, which are just
One down.
short enough to be able to be a nuisance. You know, they'll be
They-
one turn
they
and they're
are,
into
yeah.
shot, or
And as you saw with Kelvin Scott, he tried to and got outside it. You know, you're trying to get to the Mandy Boyd bowl and just in that sort of umbrella arc around the head, and just makes it challenging to find that line in. But look, we know the ability of these two skips, Pascoe and Seamus Curtin, and we've seen some of the shots that they've played not just today but throughout the event, and we know that they're more than capable of delivering.
so one down on the head.
Yeah. You've got good way to return. Come on, Pascoe.
You might just find that gap.
Through
He
the
may.
gap.
He may.
Great shot, Pascoe.
Wow, there you go. So he had his own, like Mandy Boyd's his lead is the black bowl that was there. He shunt onto that would have also given him shot, but he just decided, no, I'll draw it instead.
He gave himself, you know, that, again, it's that confidence, I think, as well, which Kelvin Scott is assisting greatly with, saying, you know, come on, Lance, you can draw this, you can do that. And as Seamus Curtin equal to that opportunity as well, leading 3-2 as the Stokes Valley Vipers after 3 ends of 5.
Looking for the shot. Looking to
He's
just
not
move
far
it.
away. He's not far away.
Go.
Oh, my word. That was close. And Lance Pascoe will know that next time Curtin will get it. So
It was a
he's just got to
zigzag
counter
paper.
this. Yeah. So he's drawn the shot on his backhand. His bowler's sitting there
The same
on
as
the right-hand side, so he's going to play that same shot again.
he knows he wants to get another ball on the head
Yeah.
as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's pushed it out wider.
He might just be looking for something slightly over, because if...
Yeah, no, he knew. What's the body language
it?
now from the mat? How far is this coming back on that
Over
weight?
Mandy.
How far is
Brilliant,
this
mate.
coming back?
Brilliant.
Goodness me.
How's that?
Okay, so...
Oh, yeah, you heard that.
Didn't think it'd come back from there.
Yeah, and Lance Pascoe didn't think it was going to come back from there either, to be fair. Now puts a different aspect on this shot, doesn't it, for Seamus Curtin?
Yeah, well, if he sits on it and stays, he gets the shot.
Well, you play the same shot, don't you, John? Because you're only
So, yeah. Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah.
could also get the jack, couldn't he? Yeah, he was only a centimetre
going
away.
either side.
It
Yeah.
counts for them.
He's coming down to have a look.
Kelvin Scott was pretty happy with that last bowl.
That's why we play with them.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say, yeah, that's why we pay him the big dollars, he was going to say, like all skips. They get major money, don't they? Every skip. That's a favourite saying. Oh, well, that's what skips are there for. So they'll listen to what they're discussing.
What do you mean quick? I probably wouldn't drive it, but I'm happy to go down here. You know, you got the chance for that.
And of course, the other thing too, John, is there is, which you can't quite see, and I saw a moment ago, there's a Kelvin Scott bowl sitting right under the number, right down at the back of the rink. So if the jack was to move back with weight, there's that Kelvin Scott bowl there. You can see down by the number down there. But the indication listening to that Seamus Curtin wasn't actually going to play with a lot of weight. But the great thing, of course, with that bowler, Lance Pascoe, is that it gave him two bowls either side of the head, didn't it? That's that makes it.
He's got quite a few options, none of them easy shots. I mean, the easy shot is to take the shot out, I suppose, because he almost did it last time. But then where their other bowls are over the head, so movement of the jack could well favour them handsomely.
I think he just got to get into his mind that I all but got the shot with my last bowl.
Yeah.
So let's see what I can do again. He's going.
He's playing the other hand, and he's trying to seek through. Ooh. Now he knows there's a straightener about here, which might just punch up. No, it didn't. It didn't straighten
Might
this
get the
time.
back of Kelvin Scott's bowl.
Oh, I don't know. Ask Mandy.
There was a hole there that he was looking for the jack, or the shot, or punch up his own bowl. But
And it was two.
2 shots to the Saints.
Now they must use their power play now, surely. Well, they've got to.
Yep. So the Saints won the first. They're leading in the second. Look at the scores. It shows how tight it's been. We're playing 5 ends, so we've had 7 shots of the first 5 ends and 7 shots of the first 4 ends of this one. So the Vipers have to win it. That's all it is to take it to a tiebreaker.
Cheers, Nick.
I think you've got to compliment as well, Lance Pascoe, that last end. So just some discussion about this power play.
Nick, come on.
So just confirmed this, John, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Is that what Steve said? I'm sure it's what he said. It was
Yeah.
a great opening bowl here from Nicole, Toomey, and John and I both of the opinion with Steve Sargent went by that it was the power play being used by...
Although, I talked to Mark Noble after the first game. He said it was pointless as our playing our power play on the end because, so I couldn't work that one out.
Good attempt here from
they were
Boyd.
all- yeah.
Look at this. Sits on top of the Nicole
Yeah.
Toomey bowl. Got 2 rolls out of it. Sits inside the circle. A shot.
Greater minds than mine work out power plays.
Well, yeah. Oh, Nicole Toomey looks just to be on that wider side. Main thing is the bowl will stay up. Is it going to stay up? No, it doesn't. Two superb bowls with it from
Yeah,
Lance Pascoe on that last end to turn that around. Which side of it does he get? Oh, it's another bowl on the head for Elmwood.
Good effort, mate.
Same.
So Finbar McGuigan on the draw just outside the circle, and Holding 1 are the Elmwood Saints and leading 4-3 as we play the 15th. Oh, this is the second set after Elmwood Park winning the first set, 4 shots to 3. Kelvin Scott's going to just drift by, but we'll get to the
Get this, mate. Little toucher.
right under the number.
Well, I think the word's gone out. Just don't be short.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
Because it may end up that Curtin has to attack.
Looking at this is Seamus Curtin as it's coming down towards the jack in the shot bowl. The jack around the corner. He gets it cleaned as the Stokes Valley number 2. And it is 2 shots quickly indicated by Steve Sargent.
Well, these are young guys, experienced, but under pressure. All of them, well, we'll say Kelvin Scott, in his mind's a young guy.
Get on to Mandy's front one's okay, or just gliding under, you get the blue. I'll play to the Dutch.
Play to the ditch, there we are.
Unless he wants the dead draw.
So the Mandy bowl is the middle black one that you can see there. The right one of those two. You're saying you can play onto that, or you play it'll hit the blue.
Well, of course, the advantage, or not advantage, but the opportunity they've got if they can dislodge one of those bowls. Remember, of course, winning the first set, the Stokes Valley Vipers must win the set. A draw's,
Yes, yeah.
draw's no good to them, of course, but they do hold the win at present.
So he won't be short. He's been asked to play
Narrow.
to the ditch.
Oh,
Inside edge.
not a,
No.
no.
Not too bad.
You can see what weight is going to be played, though, can't you? So 1 bowl left for Lance Pascoe on this, the 5th and final end of the second set. Down 2 on the head and leading 4-3 is the Elmwood Park side over the Stokes Valley Vipers. 2 down at this point in time, with Seamus Curtin making his way back to the mat, holding the 2 shots.
I just wonder, the danger bowl possibly for Curtin is, if he's playing the forehand, is the Mandy Boyd bowl. So the winner of this match, which may well go to a tiebreaker, will play
Takaro Tui, who have just defeated the Gore Rams 7-5 in the first set and run out the winners in the second set by 6 shots to 3. It's the side of Mark Noble, Sharon Sims and Steve Toms, and they have defeated the Gore Rams.
So Curtin playing backhand now.
Has it got the weight, John?
I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve. He may well have just wanted to put something else in the road. Holding 2, that's what all they need. Shaking his head as he goes back, so he knows that there's still that 1 shot that Pascoe can play. He's hoping that when he goes back now to pick up his bowl, that he doesn't have to play it.
Correct,
So,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. Pascoe needing to correct that line. He hold the same weight, no doubt, with his first, but just adjust that line. He's going quicker.
That's all he's got, isn't it? He's got the red.
Good shot.
Got the red. Now.
Ah, it's got to. He's got to draw the shot. Holding 1 is the.
Well, it gives them 2, though, doesn't it? So that gives them
But
5-4.
so why are they?
I don't think they're. Honestly, we didn't see any indication they were playing
Yeah,
their
well,
power play.
he wouldn't be playing his bowl, would he?
No.
If it was that
That's
was
right.
the case.
Yeah. So he's got to draw it now. Got to draw the shot.
To
to
make
force
2.
this into an extra end. Tiebreaker. And he's not going to bring it in from there.
Let's see, gets a slide off the inside.
Cheers.
No, he won't.
Cheers.
And there it is. 1 to the
Wow.
Stokes Valley Thunder. And That ties up the second set. The second set at 4 apiece. A drawn second set, but not to be for the Stokes Valley Thunder. The side of Nicole Toomey, Finbar McGuigan, and Seamus Curtin, and the Elmwood Park side of Mandy Boyd, Kelvin Scott, and Lance Pascoe have won their way through to the final, winning the first set by 4 shots to 3, and then all locked up 4-all in the second set. And in the other semi-final, we saw the Takaro Tui of the Manawatu Centre defeat the Gore Rams by 7-5 in the first set and 6-3 in the second set. So that means the final this afternoon, which we'll see get underway, we'll see the Takaro side of Steve Toms, Sharon Sims and Mark Noble. They will be up against the Elmwood Park side of Mandy Boyd, Kelvin Scott and Lance Pascoe. And John Macbeth and myself will be back for that final of the Bowls3Five National Interclub Finals here at the Naenae Bowling Club in Wellington.